side of the ring. He's here. Devin Alexander is here with Jordan.
Sean, thank you so much. Devin, great to see you. You're on a mission to be a world champion again. How important is it for you to not only win, but to look impressive tonight?
Well, it's the most important thing I can do at this point in my career. Like you said, I'm on the comeback trail. I'm excited. I feel strong. I feel good. And, you know, going through my ordeal 2 years ago, you know, it's going to mean a lot to a lot of people that I'm touching that's going through a similar situation. And I'm just going to be so excited to, you know, show them that they can do it, they can beat it, they can get over whatever they're going through. So I'm excited to be able to, you know, continue my reign on becoming a world champion.
And you told us this fight with Berto has been a long time coming. And now that it's here, what are you going to have to do to get your hand raised tonight?
Well, I just got to be smart. I got to be smart, and I got to listen to my coach. Follow the game plan. Berto's going to come to fight because he knows this may be his last rodeo, and he knows he has to come in and fight. So I'm prepared to I'm prepared for the 25-year-old Berto that's going to come in and try to hurt me and try to do what he has to do to win. So that's what I'm prepared for.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. Best of luck tonight. Sean, back to you.
All right, Jordan, the moment has arrived. A former Olympian, a former world champion, Andre Berto, authored some of the most famous wins over the last 10 years. Devin Alexander and Berto, the main event. Next. World titles have been decided in this building. The New York Islanders won 2 of their 4 Stanley Cups. Dr. J won a title in the ABA in this building. 2 former world champions about to go head-to-head. One final opportunity to get back to the top of the division. The Tale of the Tape, sponsored by Corona, who invites you to find your beach.
Well, you got a 3 years age difference. You know, 34 years old, Berto, and 31. So Alexander has that youth on his side. You know, being 5'6", Berto, you know, he's a little bit shorter, 5'8". Also, you know, that 1-inch reach with Alexander has on Berto, you know, it's going to help him out a bit, you know, especially having that height and that reach. That's what he needs to use tonight.
2 men who know the main event stage oh so well. To Ray Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, from NYCB Live here in Long Island, New York, Premier Boxing Champions now features the main event. Live on Fox, 12 rounds in the welterweight division. The 3 judges ringside are Julie Letterman, Bob Paolillo, and Don Trella. And the referee in charge when the bell sounds, Ron Lipton.
I'm Devin Alexander the Great. I'm the quicker, stronger, smarter boxer. They're just not even gonna see it coming. I'm back, and we just getting started.
Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He comes in wearing the red trimmed with the white. His professional record, 27 wins, 14 of those coming by way of knockout. Opposite, 4 losses. Fighting out of St. Louis, Missouri. He is the former champion, Devin Alexander the Great.
I'm Andre Berto. Some call me the Beast. I'm powerful, I'm strong, I'm somewhat a boxer puncher, and I got a lot of dynamite in my hands. Devin Alexander, hope you're ready. It's all business in the ring. Expect dynamite.
And across the ring, his opponent fighting out of the blue corner. He comes in wearing the blue and the gray. As a professional, 31 wins, 24 of those coming by way of KO. Opposite, 5 defeats. Fighting out of Winter Haven, Florida. He, too, is a former champion. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Andre Berto.
Gentlemen, I've given you the rules of the New York State Athletic Commission. I remind you both now, respect each other, obey my commands. We are going to keep this strictly professional. Good luck to you both.
Respect each other, probably instructions that Andre Berto and Devin Alexander don't need. They have a great deal of respect for each other, but they also know the stakes.
Okay, just watch the cameras inside the ring, please.
Yeah, this is that type of fight. You got to come out and gain that ring generalship right away. You got 2 technical fighters that are highly skilled. former world champions. See who's going to dictate.
Devin Alexander has been the more active fighter since his layoff. For Andre Berto, 469 days away, 826 days since his last win.
You know what I like is they came right into that center of the ring.
Right there.
Right there, toe to toe. You know, they're stepping on each other, fighting
Literally toe to toe.
fighting for that foot positioning. Especially you need that foot positioning, you know, when a left-handed fighter and a right-handed fighter fight.
Andre Berto is used to fighting southpaws. In fact, he has fought 6 of his last 13 fights against southpaws. He has 7 fights against them in his career, and only one loss to a southpaw. Shed any light on that, or?
Yeah, that was me, the southpaw. You know, he's avenging all his rematches, and he's getting all his rematches and avenging his losses.
So does he have your number?
He hasn't asked me yet.
Let him go. Step back.
All right, Sean, you've been in with both these guys at different stages, obviously, of their career. We talked earlier about the layoff. Are we making too much of that stuff with Andre Berto and the time away?
Yeah. I mean, I think we saw it, you know, with Kid Chocolate Peter Quillen, that even a 2-year layoff is not necessarily detrimental to your career, and it can't possibly help. Everybody's different. I've never taken any more than a year off, and, you know, not by choice either. But it all depends on the fighter. So I think what we heard from Andre Berto in the fighter meeting, he's saying that it's nothing. I'm going to take care of business. I believe him.
You know, some guys come back better from a layoff. You know, they need that rest. You know, not every guy needs to be super active all the time, fighting constantly. You know, some guys, you know, they need that little break, and, you know, this could be good for them.
Devin Alexander talks about his career. He says it wasn't the 2-year layoff. It was the 2 years. And he'll tell you flat out, and speaks about it often, that I was fighting high before he kind of came clean with his issues with painkiller. And as those of you that don't know the story of Devin Alexander, maybe the last person on earth you would ever imagine would get involved in that. Doesn't even drink soda, let alone anything harder than that, but trying to recover from nasal surgery after developing a blood clot. There was painkillers. He liked the feel of it, and before you knew it, even his longtime trainer, Kevin Cunningham, who's seen everything, couldn't figure out what was wrong.
Yeah, and I've known Devin for a long time. I know where he's from. I know everyone around him, and I was always, you know, happy that he stayed out of that stuff. Was very surprised to find out when he fell into it, and of course, I'm proud of him now for coming out of it.
Moments ago, there's a nice straight right hand from Berto. Just like that, he's setting it up. He's getting that foot position off with his jab, and he's landing that straight right hand.
Stop punching, step back clean. Break clean. Step back.
And there's the end of round 1. Again, they go toe-to-toe, as you would expect, knowing the stakes in this. We said Sean Porter has fought both of these guys. Robert Guerrero has fought that man, Andre Berto. And in breaking down this fight, we could talk about it, or we could just show you. So, Robert, as the southpaw, as Devin Alexander tonight, what's the most important thing for him against Andre Berto?
Well, for one, the most important thing, being a southpaw, fighting against Andre Berto, this is with my experience, is you want to stay on the outside of Berto's his lead foot. So you're able to get that jab and fire that straight left hand or that left uppercut and step off to the side. That's going to help you out a lot to be in the clear all the time to dodge that big right hand that's coming from Andre Berto.
And a little bit of a boxing lesson, the same for Andre Berto. In order for him to land the right hand, he's got to be on the outside of that foot. If he should happen to get caught on the inside, he can always slip that jab and come with that crazy uppercut that we've seen him catch many opponents with before.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah, let's see it.
Robert, you could play World Cup soccer with that dive back there off the minimal contact. Great job, gentlemen.
I didn't hit him.
You know, I don't think you had to explain that. Well, you can't help yourself, can you? All right, look, Devin Alexander's right foot is literally beyond the left foot of Berto. That's how close they are.
We saw in the first round. We saw they both of them literally Devin more than Andre Berto. Andre's a little bit more of a flat-footed fighter. Devin's gonna periodically throughout this fight pick that foot up. He'll step to the inside, but he'll try to be on the outside, and then he'll even step on top of Andre Berto's foot from time to time as well. And like Robert said, it's gonna line up his straight left if he's able to step on the outside of Andre Berto's lead left foot. So it's a little bit of geometry, a lot of bit of 1, 2, 3s and ABCs. It's fun when you're training, but in the heat of the battle like this, you got to be on your game.
Alexander coming in with the left and getting out. Robert, do we appreciate Alexander enough for not just his body of work, but his skill set? I think because he doesn't have those glamorous knockouts. He has put forth, and I'm thinking of the Madonna fight is the one that pops to mind. He has pitched some brilliant, perfect games.
Oh, definitely. You know, he works behind a great jab. You know, most lefties, they like to counterpunch a lot. But Devin, he works behind a jab, puts his combinations together, steps on the outside, keeps that foot out there. His fundamentals are on point all the time. And, you know, he don't get a lot of credit for it. You know, he does a great job doing it. And as you can see, I mean, he's right there in front of you. You know, he makes his moves. He does everything he needs to do proper, and he lets his punches fly.
And that's one thing about Devin as well. He's been with Kevin Cunningham from the very beginning. They know each other inside and out. And he's really got Devin Alexander ready for this fight.
You see where he's from. He wears the St. Louis Cardinals on his trunks. They may change managers this year, but
body and head
Kevin
right there.
Alexander's never going to.
It was body and head right there with the right hand. Was a body shot and then the uppercut that landed. Then he came back, got his foot on the outside, like Robert said, and threw that straight left and landed that as well. So he's you can see how seasoned he is by the way he throws his punches and in the position in which he throws them.
You know, what I like about this fight is both fighters, you know, they're right there, right in front of each other, you know, stationary, ready to go, you know, making their moves, their adjustments, slipping punches, you know, countering and working behind the jab. And, you know, it all comes down to that foot position. You know, fighting for that foot position is a big deal in this fight, especially how close they are in range. And you know, that's going to make the difference of this fight.
A really good fight through 2 rounds, and this is what I expected. These guys are going to stand toe-to-toe. They're going to use their boxing knowledge to create that offense, and the best man is going to win.
Andre Berto's been down a few times in his career, but some guys get more chinny the older they get.
Welcome back. Devin Alexander is someone who has never taken a sip of alcohol or smoked a cigarette, but he ended up getting addicted to an opioid. And you guys, he told me that it was a roller coaster for himself that took him away from boxing for 2 years. But he said it was a blessing in disguise. And
2 punches behind the head. Yep. Great straight left that we knew he could line up. He's playing the foot game very, very well throughout this fight. Great straight left, and then he followed up with 2 punches behind the head.
The one thing I like about that is he stepped right off. He stepped right over with that jab, and he landed that straight right hand.
Andre Berto has been down 10 times before that.
Listen,
early in fights.
I don't have to, but I will, because I want to educate you guys. This fight could end soon, a lot sooner than the fight with myself. When you're southpaw fighting an orthodox fighter, you're in line. Angles are created that aren't created as when you're, you know, an orthodox fighter fighting another orthodox fighter, or a lefty fighting another lefty. So there's going to be punches that Devin Alexander is able to get off clean, as we can see him do, a lot cleaner than I was able to, because those angles just aren't there for you like they are for Devin Alexander being a southpaw against Andre Berto, an orthodox fighter.
Oh, yes, definitely the left hand's always in line all the time. And like we were talking earlier about that foot position, if your foot's on the outside and you're firing a great jab, your straight left hand is right down the pipe, right to the chin, or even the solar plex for a body shot.
Yeah, so he's able to step in with his jab, create just enough to land a straight left, and he's really hurt Andre Berto. Andre's hurt right now.
But the one thing with Berto is, you know, he's notorious for coming back and knocking you down back.
He's not going to stop. That's the thing about Berto. He's not going to stop. You got to stop it.
I think I had him down twice in the fight, and he came back strong.
Andre Berto obviously coming off a very tough physical fight with you, Sean. And he's become frustrated. I think there might have been some expectation that Devin Alexander might try to stay away, but he has been up in the face of Andre Berto from the opening second of this fight.
Yeah. And it was a tough fight for him against me. You know, when you're in a big, rough, hard fight like it was with me, you may be in your mind ready to come back, but your body just may not be physically there. And it's only the 3rd round. We can see him a little shook right now, a little light in the legs. And also, a lot like with me, you see him looking, you know, to his right to the referee as well. But see, this is what you get when you have an orthodox fighter against a southpaw.
Great shot. Devin Alexander didn't wait. Andre Berto almost thought that Ron Lipton was going to step between him.
Looking for the ref. Looking for the ref.
That goes back to protect yourself at all times.
Yep, #1 rule in boxing.
Especially when you're on the ropes.
Andre Berto hearing it a little bit. Very strong start for Devin Alexander tonight. He won the first 2 rounds and then scored the knockdown here early in round 3. Devin Alexander got off to a strong start against Victor Ortiz. He's been even better tonight. Jordan, you were telling us about the fact that, boy, these strong starts almost didn't happen at all.
Yeah, you know, he was working on beating that addiction, but he said it was a blessing in disguise, and he really wants to be a spokesperson for addicts and show them that if they really put their mind to something and have something to look forward to, which for Alexander is becoming a world champion again, then they can knock out addiction too, just like Alexander is trying to knock out Berto tonight.
Jordan, he was telling us yesterday about all the people he still stays in touch with, that he met in rehab, that he's still connected to on social media. And his message, it's all about having something to look forward to, that you can beat it even when it doesn't seem like you can. And Devin Alexander's dream to become a world champion again today, and what a message that would send to anyone who's ever been affected that way.
He's sharp tonight, and for good reason. You know, he took some time off, you know, dealing with that situation, and he knew he wanted to come back to boxing. Not only that, he knew he had a lot to fight for. And tonight, we see all of it right now in the ring. He's sharp, knows what he wants to throw. He's throwing to hurt. Andre Berto is coming back.
All it does is draw a smile on the face of Devin Alexander. Andre Berto, guys, is clearly frustrated. He's looking to the left, he's looking to the right.
I noticed that when I fought him. It didn't take long for him to get frustrated, for him to, you know, get upset, for the lack of words, for him to start looking to the ref to help him, and that's what he's doing tonight. Meanwhile, he's getting caught with straight lefts. He's getting lined up for everything.
There's a body language of frustration at almost every turn here for Berto.
The fight, when you have a southpaw fighter against an orthodox fighter, if they're aggressive like these two are, the fight is always going to be great, because you're going to find out who's the better fighter, who's the smarter fighter, who's able to get their foot on the outside and land that straight punch, who's able to connect with the counter first and land before what they do right there, which is get tied up. Ultimately, that's what's going to happen after a few punches, because that angle is created. Those guys will get tied up. Not that they want to tie up, it's just going to happen. So we see right here, whoever's the better fighter will land from the outside before the tie-up like that right there. And it makes for a great fight.
Also, too, Alexander's right in his face. Don't give him no room to breathe. As soon as he steps back, he's back in there with his jab, stepping off to the side. He has that foot position all the time, and immediately when they step back, he fires. He lets his shots go.
Yeah, and Robert, you know this. Every fight is a statement fight. He's making a statement right now, even with the smile that he presents to Andre Berto is a statement that I can beat you, and I'm ready for the world.
Also,
so, go ahead.
Also too, he had a great fight against Victor Ortiz. You know, having that, getting that ring rust off, a great 12 rounds back with Ortiz, you know, did real good for him. You know, really confident, looked great. I felt he won the fight, he edged it out. Judges thought different, that it was a draw, but, you know, he did a great job.
And he looks great so far. It's been a good fight for him so far.
That felt like a win for Devin Alexander, and he has picked up where he left off.
So the one thing we're looking at is Devin Alexander. As soon as they break, he's right back in again, firing his shots. It doesn't give Berto a chance to regroup or reset. You know, since he hurt him, he's been doing that a lot. And then also, too, he has that foot positioning that's helping him out to be able to be in line to land that straight left and also that hook right behind it.
Andre Berto and Devin Alexander, the symmetry of two parallel careers. Both world champions, both on top of the division 7, 8 years ago. both had their separate issues. Andre Berto, the brutal tendon tear in his shoulder. He thought he wouldn't be able to use his right arm again. He was able to come back from that. We talked about Devin Alexander's comeback, but guys, you know what happened while they were away. An entire new wave, a new generation of welterweights came up and took over the division, and the winner of this fight wants one more shot at relevance against one of those top guys.
A little headbutt right there from Andre Berto. But Devin's doing exactly what Andre Berto needs him to do. He's circling Devin's circling to his left, which is lining up, putting him in line for Andre Berto's straight right. The question is Andre going to throw it? That's the question.
The one thing that's helping him out is Devin Alexander is when he's circling to the left, he's throwing the jab off of it. So that's what's keeping him, you know, of a straight left and a hook right off of it.
I love it, which is why I love this fight, because there's so much strategy that's involved in a match like this. Even with guys who have been, you know, away from the game for a little while, they come back and there's just so much strategy involved in this fight that it can't help but be a great fight. And a big hook right there from Andre Berto.
The one thing knowing about Berto is, you know, as the rounds go on, he gets stronger and stronger. And he keeps coming, you know, he starts getting his way in, he starts working. Especially when he's behind, he knows he needs to catch up. He's playing that catch up. You know, he really goes to work. He doesn't sit back and try to land big shots only.
And while Alexander clearly won a fight against Victor Ortiz, he blames himself for the later rounds, letting it slip away and putting it in the judges' hands. Remember fighting in Texas?
Yeah, that was one of those fights where there was some weird judging going on there. But judges think different. You know, there's different type of judges. There's guys that like pressure fighters. Victor Ortiz was putting a lot of pressure, and he was throwing. Devin slipped a lot of shots, blocked a lot, but he boxed very well, and I thought he edged the fight out and won it. But, you know, judges thought different out in Texas, and, you know, that's the way it got called. But the one thing I love about Devin Alexander is he takes credit for, you know, that it was his wrong. Hey, I should have went, I should have stepped it up, I should have finished strong and took this guy out.
Right there, we just saw Andre Berto throw a jab to the head, straight right to the body, and then straight right to the head. Combinations like that, that's exactly what you throw against the southpaw. You finish with that right hand, and you can finish down and up with it.
Sean, it was jarring to see it because he hadn't done it until the end of the fifth round.
Yeah, been waiting to see it, but there you go, another straight right there. And Devin's putting himself in line for that. Again, like Robert said, he's popping the jab, which will keep that right hand off. But Andre was able to finish the round with some strong right hands right there.
Devin Alexander, the younger fighter, the more active fighter, and he's looked like it through five.
Welcome back. Andre Berto created a clothing line called The Harvest, which you'll see on the back of his trunks, which is all about achieving anything you put your mind to. The idea began after he tore his right shoulder in the Soto Carras fight, and he admits he wasn't in a good place because he didn't know if he was going to be back, but he decided to reset his mind and go after his dreams. And after he was able to train again, he was in the gym by himself, ripping away at the bag, and he said Andre Ward walked in and told him, "Hold up, man, slow down." And Berto responded with, "The harvest is coming." And the model stuck, and it's what he lives by today. So he says, sow your seeds and the harvest will come.
Andre Ward actually had to tell him to slow down. It was his first day back from rehab.
You know what? I try not to at least
talk about the refs.
Yeah, talk about the refs, the judging, anything like that. Whatever happens, happens. But the ref's been on Andre tonight, and I haven't seen much of what this ref is calling against Andre tonight.
He's having enough trouble getting a flow with Devin Alexander,
and
let alone.
As soon as he gets it, you know.
Yeah, Andre just shot a look down here like, you guys seeing this too?
And he's picked it up. He's picked it up. I thought he won the last round. He comes out, throws some really good combinations, lands them, and then he gets called for something. As a fighter, that makes you leery of even throwing the punches, because you're worried of, you know, getting points taken or getting the ref being on you throughout the evening.
That's what Andre Berto was doing earlier, was sort of hanging on Devin Alexander, and immediately he was admonished for it. Ron Lipton sort of lets this one go. Right left has found a home. Devin Alexander looks crisp.
You know, coming from a farmland, you know, once everything harvests, it gets chopped down. So Devin Alexander is starting to chop them down.
Look at you. Wow. It was also Andre Ward that heard that story about the harvest and said, yeah, you got to make something happen with that. But there's, you know, you guys have dealt with various injuries at different levels. your physical mortality as a professional athlete, and both of these guys have severely faced that and had to stare into the eyes in the middle of their career of it being just suddenly taken away from them. And they appreciate every one of these moments and every one of these opportunities.
Oh, yes, definitely. You know, being in that ring, you know, that's where it's your spot to shine. You know, it's only you and the other fighter in there. Nobody else, everybody watching. So, you know, both guys are doing a great job.
And no excuses. I appreciate that both these guys come to the ring and they fight. They don't say, yeah, well, I'm dealing with this, I'm dealing with that. They put that behind them. They get in the ring, and they both have a warrior spirit right now as they go for, you know, seemingly, you know, their last chance, their last opportunity.
Andre Berto ended up coming all the way back to get the fight with Floyd Mayweather, which we thought would be his last fight. There's an interesting story about Andre Berto, who he ended up rehabbing with when it comes to that not being Floyd Mayweather's final fight. Tell you that story as we head back for round 7 in front of Floyd here at Nassau Coliseum. Well, Andre Berto, who went through the long rehab on his shoulder, fought his way back, and with the wins, earned what was then the 49th fight for that man, Floyd Mayweather, and what we thought was going to be his final fight. Obviously, it wasn't. When Andre Berto was in rehab, he was in rehab with this guy that he had not known before and ended up becoming fast friends with him because he was rehabbing a knee injury. His name was Conor McGregor, who ended up becoming the 50th opponent. And I guess you never know who you're going to meet in rehab. Is the
You, my friend, are full of...
Everyone else is saying that on Twitter right now. Oh, you meant information.
Yeah, you are full of information.
I thought you were,
I was like, where's this guy going with this?
You never know, dude.
You never know. And that was how many years ago?
That would have been about, well, see, it was after the Soto Cross fight,
Yeah,
so it would have been
4 or 5 years?
Yeah, more than that, yeah.
Wow. What a turn of events that was.
Robert Guerrero, Sean Porter, Sean Grandy, no relation. Robert, your scorecard here through 6.
I have the fight score. Shoot, what do I have it?
That would be 6-0 with the knockdown.
6-0 with the knockdown.
And the only real discussion here, guys, probably was round 5, which might, that was probably the closest thing we've had to a 50-50 round.
Yeah, I agree.
And you think about Devin Alexander, you think of Andre Berto as being the more powerful fighter, but Devin Alexander has only been down once. That was that flash knockdown from Lucas Matisse. He was in the news, just retired. Yeah. Oh, he was, what a fun fighter to watch.
Yeah, he just got destroyed by Pacquiao.
And Devin rips. I like that about Devin. He rips to the body, then he comes back to the head.
Yeah, he throws that left uppercut to the body and that right hook.
And that's kind of a lost art. You don't really see that too much in the pros anymore. That, in the amateurs, we rip a lot. We head body. You don't really see it as much in the pros. So it's always, that second or that third punch that lands. The first one is the one that you see coming, and then depending on what that second one is, it may or may not land, but that third one is usually the one that'll land. So you see him go jab, and then he goes to head body. He'll probably land the body shot, or vice versa. If he goes body head, he'll probably land the head shot.
Berto left hook a minute ago, one of his better shots.
Now this is turning into one of those fights you were talking about, Sean.
Toe-to-toe. Booth fight. Yep, toe-to-toe.
There's almost a misconception about Devin Alexander because he's so skilled that he's a stay on his horse, stay on the outside guy. He's really not, but I think people think of him that way, maybe more than he really is.
There's a headbutt cut, I think, or it might be a punch on Berto.
There's a cut. It could be a punch. We weren't told it was a headbutt. It could be a punch or a headbutt, either one. We're not sure. At any rate,
but as a right-handed and left-handed fighter, that's going to susceptible to getting headbutt, especially this round. They've been fighting in that thunder.
And what's Andre Berto going to do? He's going to thrive in that, right?
Yeah.
He sees blood, he comes harder. That's what he's made of. That's what he's about. He's about not stopping, and he's about giving it his all.
Cut is on the side of the right eye of Berto. It doesn't look to be in a bad spot.
I feel it more beneficial, even though he's landing right here, to try to create a little bit more distance with his punches. guys lay on you and hold like that, it wears you down. At this point, Andre Berto doesn't need anything wearing him down other than being able to punch Devin Alexander and make him miss. Any more than that is too much.
That may have been Andre Berto's best round of the fight. Remember, Devin Alexander lost a big lead his last time out against Victor Ortiz. That left hook has found a home as this one has gone on. The two veterans headed for round 8.
Big round right there for Andre Berto. He was able to land from the outside and then also from the inside. And Devin seemed to have slowed down a little bit that round. And I'm wondering, you know, because it was a little bit the same in his fight against Victor Ortiz. Is it the conditioning? Is it what's going on, you know?
Yeah, it seems like the tables turned that last round. You know, Berto putting that pressure. As soon as Devin will stand back or they'll break, he'll step right in. So he's doing the opposite now of what he was doing before. So
yeah, and you stand in front of Andre Berto, and Andre's going to be able to land. That's exactly what he did. What, 4 or 5 punches right there he landed, and that's just because either Devin's taken off or he's actually fatigued. But at any rate, he doesn't need to stay there and right in line for Andre Berto to throw, because he throws and he'll land.
I think Alexander's fading a little bit, because in the early rounds he throws a lot of power punches. Both punches come hard.
Did you say fading or faking?
Fading.
Okay.
Fading.
Oh wait, the cut,
we got a little.
Is that a real cut or
Somebody's cup fell off?
Is that real?
Or somebody throw it in?
Throw it in?
Fighters throwing cups in now or what?
Oh wow.
I've heard of underwear, but not cups.
That wasn't a towel.
Well, that was something that lightened the mood right there. Those guys were able to have a laugh together. Yeah,
they're still talking and laughing about it.
Let's get back to fighting.
They're probably trying to figure out whose it is.
Still plenty of time here for Andre Berto.
I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on the cup. Is that possible?
I mean, it didn't come from the outside of the ring.
One of those bizarre things that happens, huh?
These guys got to do something, because I can't stop thinking about it.
What was the fight? The heavyweight fight where the parachuter came in?
Oh, yeah, that was
Riddick Bowe and Evander Holyfield.
There you go.
Yeah, well, we got
1993 in Las Vegas.
Why can't we get a parachuter? We get a cup.
No.
Hopefully that wasn't just a bad parachute attempt and somebody just tried to.
There you go. I really am wondering two things. He's either fading or he's pacing. But he's allowing Andre Berto to come back.
There was a nice right uppercut from Berto right to the body also.
There you go.
This is really deja vu for Devin Alexander for the Victor Ortiz fight. That was also a 12-round fight.
It was like I said earlier, you know, Devin Alexander throws a lot of power shots, and they're like constantly throwing power shots. And in a 12-round fight, you know, you need to relax a bit, stay relaxed, fire your shots fluent. You know, you throw power on them, but you can't throw constant power on everything, because you tend to fatigue really quick.
Another good round. Another good round for Andre Berto.
Through 8. High stakes for Andre Berto and Devin Alexander. We knew we'd be entertained. We didn't know our cup would run us over.
They're really going to try to put it on.
Welcome back. I was over in Andre Berto's corner after the whole cup situation, and they were over there trying to tape it back together and everything. And one of the trainers just said, hey, we need to go back and get another one. They ran back, grabbed that red cup that you just saw him put it on, and Berto, while I was getting on, is looking over at us, kind of laughing as if, hey, it happened. So it's all good now. Sean?
I tell you what, I tell you what, that's called good coaching. You're thinking quick on your feet. Something's happening, you got to figure it out. They figured it out. Obviously, cups are necessary in the ring. If I lose my cup, I'm done for it. I got to borrow a cup. So that was impressive. And they got it on in 60 seconds.
Yeah, great job by Virgil Hunter on making that call.
But let's get back to the fight. Andre Berto coming on, and Devin Alexander fading or pacing. You know, pacing. Is he saving himself? What is this?
I think Berto just has a lot more energy, you know. First half of the fight, you know, he wasn't as active. as much as Alexander was. So, you know, that fatigue starting to set in Alexander. You know, got a few more rounds left. You know, this is what we see in Hanshan with the Victor Ortiz fight also.
Exactly the same.
Good uppercut right there. He set that up with the combination to the body, and then he came with the uppercut. That's good, too. That's a good move. Touch, touch, brings the elbows down, opens them up, and then you come right up the middle with an uppercut. Good combination by Devin Alexander.
Waiting to be separated, and Ron Lipton says, do it yourself.
Yeah, Berto's doing a great job, you know, digging on the inside, you know, keeping the fight real close. That's where he wants to be. That's where he does the best. You know, he's not giving Alexander a lot of room to come. Beautiful combination by Alexander from right there.
Ending with the straight left.
And the body shot as well. And Andre's right back.
Let him go. Step punching. Step back here.
And see, it's kind of hard to gauge, too, because when you're Andre Berto, you need a guy to be closer to you to throw the punches.
Good shot from Alexander. Remember, Berto was down early in this fight. Part of Devin Alexander building a big lead, which Andre Berto was whittled away here over the last few rounds. At stake, relevance in the ultra-deep welterweight division.
It was like I said earlier, with Berto, as the fight goes on, he gets stronger and stronger, and you know that's what's happening now. You know, he's coming forward, he's landing a lot of punches, digging on the inside.
And he might still be hurt. He's light on his feet. Big left hand that landed for Devin Alexander. But you never know with Andre Berto. He's like a fire, and you know, as soon as you think he's down, it flares up.
Andre Berto has gotten stronger in the middle rounds of this fight under the watchful eye of one of the great veteran trainers, Virgil Hunter.
Good round of boxing.
Don't waste your time wrestling with him now. Just put the punches together, some will get through. Okay? All right, easy. Easy. You got this fight, baby. Win these last 3 rounds, okay? You got this fight. Don't take no for an answer. Beat him to the punch, okay? Come on. Breathe deep. Give me some. I'm up. Give me some breath. It's close. It's close because of the knockdown. I need these last 3 rounds. Give me these last 3 rounds. Okay? Come on now. Come on, baby.
As you see Virgil Hunter applying the ice to that left shoulder of Berto. Remember, the injury was the right shoulder years ago. That was the bad one for Andre Berto.
And we can hear in the corner Virgil saying, don't take no for an answer. You got this fight. Don't take no for an answer. Whether he's down or not, that's what Andre Berto was all about. He's all about staying strong, coming back, and not taking no for an answer. And I don't see him doing that right now.
That's the one thing about Virgil Hunter is he knows how to get you going in that corner.
He gets me going. Every time I hear him, he gets me going.
Yeah, he's a great motivator in that corner when you're down also.
And apparently extraordinarily well prepared when it comes to equipment replacement.
Yeah, that was impressive.
That's what you call the focus coach.
Ben just joining us, and that was a pretty clear trick. Just joining us, Devin Alexander, a very strong start. Probably won the first 4 or 5 rounds. Knocked Berto down in round 2.
I think Andre should go forward a little more, but with punches. Now, I'm not saying, you know, stalk this guy and walk him down, but I think if he's more aggressive with his hands right now, he won't allow Devin Alexander to think and create the space that he's been able to create and keep Devin and keep Andre Berto off of him. Great defense right there.
Low blow right there by Berto.
That one was low.
And Sean, you said we don't know if Devin Alexander is getting tired or pacing himself. Andre Berto needs to find that out.
Yeah, and there's no other way to find that out than pushing that guy. That guy wants to sit back and wait on you. Give him something to, you know, give him what he's been waiting on.
Yeah, that's what he's been doing the last couple of rounds. You know, putting that pressure. you know.
And I personally think that is Andre Berto's best shot in this fight, is to catch Devin Alexander trying to exchange with him. I think that if he catches him exchanging, he can catch him with a heavy blow and do some damage.
And the one thing that Berto's doing also too is being the stronger guy physically. You know, he's pushing that on him, you know, tying him up, wrestling him around. You know, so that starts to fatigue you even more and starts to drain, you know, deplete your energy.
Yeah, and I'm going to contradict myself, and I don't mind doing that, because right now and throughout the fight, Devin is the faster fighter. So it's a contradiction for me to say they should exchange for Berto to win, because Devin more than likely is going to win an exchange. He's just a faster fighter, which is what we've been able to see this round.
Yeah, his punches are more crisp, more sharp, a lot quicker.
And faster, yeah, and faster. It's 2 or 3 of Devin's, 1 of Berto's.
Yeah, that's the one thing, is he's combination punching every time he gets in there.
Berto, big swinging right hook, has closed the gap, but he let Devin Alexander get way up in this fight. We've got Hall of Fame trainers on both sides here. We saw Virgil Hunter, Kevin Cunningham, a legend in St. Louis, in the corner of Devin Alexander.
You call one shot, and it's a clinch. You got to shoot your shots at his neck and chest and come back with a short hook and slide out and around. You throwing one shot and tangling up. That ain't no good, bro. I told you what they was gonna do. It's gonna wait till the later round. And you sitting up here looking crazy, and you've been training for 3 months. You should be stepping it up right now. Come on, man. Throw a 1-2, he dips down into the 2. Throw the 1-2, he dips, come back with the 3. When you close, from the bottom up.
Devin Alexander's been getting tough love from Kevin Cunningham for a lot of years, and he is in his face right now about fading late and only, you know, throwing one shot at a time.
Coach Cunningham is doing what you have to do as a coach. Sometimes it's tough love. Tough love brings upon success. And right there, he's giving Devin the tough love, letting him know you can't take off. From this round on, you got to fight to win.
Robert, what do you think through 10?
Through 10, I got 7 rounds of 3 for Devin Alexander. You know, he's been doing a great job boxing, throwing a long shot. The last 4 rounds I gave to Berto, except the 10th. So you know, he's doing a great job coming back, landing a lot of shots on the inside. You know, putting that pressure. He's opposing his will in there. And like Coach Cunningham said, you know, that's what they were going to do. That was the game plan, is to come in and put that pressure towards the end of the fight and try to get him out of there.
Berto not only dealing with the rounds he gave away early, but that knockdown too is going to make a huge difference as we're approaching sort of desperation time now for Andre Berto.
I fought both these guys. I got a lot of love for these guys, and I'm not rooting for any side. So as a Devin Alexander fan, you want to see him pick it up. You don't want to see him do what he did against Victor Ortiz and give away late rounds and cause a draw or possibly even lose a fight. And then for Andre Berto, you know, coming off of a tough fight against me, you want to see him come back, be that strong, willful fighter that you're used to seeing, and you want to see him come back and win this fight.
Want to fight on the inside?
The stakes are so high. You all know the names at the top of the welterweight division, and now Mikey Garcia's knocking on the door. He wants in 2 with Errol Spence. Kevin Cunningham talks a lot about Keith Thurman. He's the guy that maybe Devin Alexander would have his eyes on if he is successful here over the next 4 minutes.
He said that fight makes sense. I agree with him. I think the fight makes sense if they pull this one off. Devin's got to step it up. Devin's got to do what he was doing. Finish the fight how you start the fight is what he's got to do.
Which we saw earlier in a vintage performance from the former middleweight champion Peter Quillen. A dominant decision win over J. Leon Love.
And it's called having an internal clock. If he's got an internal clock, he knows that the clock's ticking. I don't have to fight the entire round, but I gotta let my hands go throughout this fight to show the fans, show the judges that I want this fight and I'm winning these rounds. And that's what he's not doing. Berto, on the other hand, he's still coming forward. He hasn't changed at all. And if anything, he's being more willful now in the later round.
Let him go. Get him. Beautiful.
Andre Berto at age 34 Does he now have to knock out a guy who has never been knocked out? That's the question as we head for the 12th and final round.
You're working good. I know. I got it. Close is strong. He's done. He's cooked. Okay, trust your conditioning. Win it big. Close the show. Leave no doubt. Okay? Leave no doubt. Close the show. Everything is on the line here. Okay, you train too hard. Okay?
Clutch glove in the last round now.
Yeah, grease him up.
You got it.
Take that out of him. You gotta stop lunging, man, and step 5. If you step 5, you can come out with your hook. All right? You keep lunging and reaching, bro. You gotta win this round, man. They gonna ask you.
Come to me. Andre, come to me. Come here.
He had good action throughout this fight. Started off with a bang, and I hope it ends that way.
All the experts, everyone who was asked, no one had a great feeling as to who was going to win this fight, but we all thought we'd be here going to round 12.
There we go, 12th and final round.
This is how it started.
Both guys think they need this round to win.
This is how it started.
So they're going to come out hard.
There you go.
Yeah,
Berto's not taking a step back.
Nope, he couldn't wait. He
back.
couldn't wait to get away from referee Ron Lipton to get forward. He knows the stakes, and he probably knows the score.
Let your hands go. Don't walk into anything. You can pull this off, Andre Berto.
Yeah, Virgil Hunter told him in the corner, you need to come forward, you need to throw punches, you need to get in there fast and land big shots.
And he said he was done. He said Devin Alexander was done.
Yeah,
he said we knew. Yeah, he said we knew we'd get it right here.
Yeah, he was saying he's cooked. Get in there. It's time to eat.
Time to eat.
Step back. Break.
Two former world champions. Two who are both at the top of the sport. Two who heard the doubters over the last couple of years. But they have come to Long Island tonight, and they have put on a show.
And both finishing strong.
Both of them want this fight bad.
This is a win. This is a win or nothing fight. This is a win or nothing fight. I say it all the time. Every fight is a win or nothing fight. But honestly, for these guys, the next, after this could be something big.
Yeah,
and for the loser, we just don't know.
Yeah, this is a big jump in their career to get back to that world championship level.
Berto with a shot in the break. Now Devin Alexander throws his first combination in a while.
Body then head. Body then head. That's his favorite combination. Body then head. There we go.
Berto stumbles into the corner. It was a big shot to the ribs from Devin Alexander that drove him backwards.
Yeah, I think he was a bit more off balance with that shoe shine. This is what makes boxing great. You have one fighter who was dominating first half of the fight. Second half of the fight, the other fighter comes back. In the last round, they're both going for broke.
Yeah, and there's no excuses, and you're laying it all out in the ring.
And one thing I love is both coaches and both corners are like, hey, you got to go out and get this round.
This is the hardest round to judge, and
yes, it is.
It's been the best round of the fight as well. Both guys landing heavy shots, heavy hooks.
It was like you said, they're finishing how they started.
Yeah, you got to.
It is a sport. It is a division. It is a society that is youth-obsessed. But tonight, the two veterans and the two former world champions, Andre Berto and Devin Alexander, put on a spectacular show start to finish.
I'm clapping. I'm clapping. I'm clapping.
Devin Alexander came roaring out of the gate, scored the early knockdown, won the first few rounds, but the veteran Andre Berto got stronger as the fight went on, and he made this thing close. He made it interesting and forced Devin Alexander into a very difficult 12th and final round.
And he lost his cup in the process.
Devin Alexander's family disappointed last time out. They'll keep their fingers crossed for the decision tonight. About 20 miles from the city that never sleeps. Here at NYCB Live, the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island. Everybody standing here awaiting the decision, but they're also standing in appreciation of that great performance by both veterans.
A great fight tonight. Both guys laid it all on the line at the end. Devin started the fight off hot, jabbing, straight lefts, had the foot on the outside. Everything was lined up for him. He put Andre Berto down in the 3rd round, continued on throughout the 4th round. Combinations coming at Andre Berto. I think the 5th round, there you go. Big left right there in the 5th round. Then tables turned. Round 10. Devin hit the canvas, but it was a trip. But you can see the tenacity that Berto was bringing to him. And then in the 12th round, both guys throwing both hands, letting both hands go throughout that round. Landing big hooks, big right hands, big straight lefts. A big 12th round, big close 12th round. I really don't know how to score this fight.
Yeah, the intensity was crazy in this fight. It was a great one to watch.
One man knows how it was scored, and that is Ray Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone 12 rounds, we go to the scorecards. Judge at ringside, Anthony Paolillo, scores the bout 114-113 for Alexander. Judge Julie Letterman scores the bout 115-112 for Berto. And Judge Don Trella scores the bout 115-112 for your winner by split decision, Andre Berto.
The late rounds, the difference. And the Alexander family knows the pain of a lead vanished.
That was a great fight for the fans. Man, love to watch that.
That was a tough score. We can't forget about the knockdown. The thing is, the knockdown happened so early. You know, the rest of the fight carried on, and Andre came on strong at the end. You know, so there's no telling, you know, what the rest were thinking. And how they felt about the knockdown compared to the way the fight was ended.
2 judges scored that 8 rounds to 4 for Andre Berto, so even with the knockdown, a 3-point margin. Andre Berto wins the split decision. He's with Jordan Hardy.
Andre, congratulations on a great fight. You know, the first half of the fight wasn't necessarily the best for you. You were knocked down in round 3. What was that shift for you?
It was, you know, he punched me in the back of my head. It kind of threw my equilibrium off a little bit. But I knew I was in ridiculous shape, man. So I went into the corner. You know, I knew what I had to do, so I just started pressing him. You know, I knew he was fast, but I knew I was fast too. I knew I was stronger. So I just tried to stay sharp and just get off first, man. I just started getting off my combinations a lot faster. You know, I felt like I was hurting him. And I just kept pressing the action. I see him slowing down.
All right, there are a lot of names in the welterweight division. What do you do next?
Man, I don't know, man. I'm an old man now from what it sounds like. You know, this is year 14 and 15 for me. And I really, looking forward to trying to close my career out strong. So, you know, what else, man? I'm in here. I see Sean Porter back there. I see Guerrero back there. You know, we're going to see what happens. I know he has the big fight. I know he has a big fight with Danny Garcia. And I wish him the best. I wish Danny Garcia the best. And shit looks like I'm next in line.
All right, congratulations, Sean. Back to you.
All right, Jordan. Andre Berto, so impressive, guys. I think I'm always going to remember Kevin Cunningham in the corner in the late rounds, pleading with Devin Alexander not to sit on what seemed to be a lead early on.
Yeah, that's exactly what he was talking about, that what they had in their game plan was to press towards the end of the fight, and that's what Berto did, and depleted his power. Also, too, he opposed his will with his muscle power, too.
What was Devin Alexander thinking? Let's find out. He's with Jordan.
Sean, thank you. Devin, you were taking over this fight in the beginning. You knocked Berto down in round 3. What happened to you in the later rounds where he kind of started taking the edge?
Well, I don't want to make any excuses, but, you know, I slowed down a little bit around the 6th round. So he picked it up a little bit. So, you know, I don't want to make no excuses, though.
All right, and, you know, you're still, you know, making your way back, trying to get back in the mix of things in this division. What do you do next?
Well, I'm going to go back to the drum board, see what my coach want to do, my advisor, see what they want me to do, and take it from there.
All right. Fight. We'll see you soon. Sean, back to you.
All right, Jordan, another disappointing night for Devin Alexander as an early lead.
But it was a great night for boxing.
Away. It was a great night for boxing. It was a great night for veterans, and maybe a great night for everyone to realize a lot of guys still have a lot left in their tank.
I feel like Doc Holliday from Tombstone. I'm your Huckleberry. He called my name.
Well,
that's just my game.
Let's also remember this. Both guys fought very valiantly tonight, and I think they both deserve another shot at something.
Two class guys. You see Andre Berto with the family of Devin Alexander.
Tonight was a great night for boxing.
On Fox in a couple of weeks, and a great night for the NFL. We're going to see Baker Mayfield on Fox when the Browns take on the world champion Philadelphia Eagles. Tomorrow, part 2 of the exclusive documentary. It's been a fun watch about Baker Mayfield. It all starts at 3 o'clock Eastern on Fox, or you can stream it live on Fox Sports Go. Another big night. Sergey Lipinets, he's another name in the welterweight division as he has moved up, scoring a decision win over Eric Bonet, one of the stars of the night. Peter Quillen, the former middleweight champion, talking to Floyd Mayweather in his win over Jay Leon Love. For Robert Guerrero, Sean Porter, Jordan Hardy, and Ray Flores, this is Sean Grande. Thanks for being with us. Another great night of PBC on Fox.
Split decision. Andre